Hello everyone, welcome to day 8 of our 30 days of code challenge. And today we are going to be designing a moving emoji. But most importantly, today's project will enable us to work with DOM, which is the document orientation module that allows us to manipulate and interact with web pages just by clicking or moving our mouse on some objects. So by clicking today, you'll be able to change the position, you'll be able to change the colors, you'll be able to change the design of objects using the documents orientation modules. So let's start working with DOM right about now. Let's start designing our project for the day. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder for today's. So I'll be creating a new folder for today's session, which is day 8. Day 8. Now in this my day 8 folder, I want to create 3 separate files. So the first file is going to be our index. That'll be our index.html. The next one is our style.css, and then the last one will be our index.javascript. So our index.html will serve as the structure of our project. We will use the style.css to add some stylings, to add some designs to our project, while we are going to add functionality to this project using the index.js file. Index.js stands for JavaScript. So this is our JavaScript file that we are going to use to add some functionalities to our project. And today we will be working mostly and majorly with JavaScript. So let's get started. Oh, sorry, I didn't share my screen. Let me share my screen. Okay, share. Okay, so this is my HTML file. This is the CSS, and this is the JavaScript file. So the first thing I'll do is that in my HTML file, very good. So let me change the title to moving emoji. Moving emoji. Then I want to link my CSS to my HTML file and to link my JavaScript. Very good. So I've just successfully linked my CSS and my JavaScript to the what? To the HTML file. So the next thing I want to do is that I want to go live so that anything I'm doing on this web page, we can view it in real time. So I'm going live right about now. Yeah, so this is our web page. This is our blank empty web page. Let's start adding some contents to that. But just before that, let me minimize this a little bit so we can see both of them hand in hand. Okay, this is good. So now on the body, I want to create a div, and this div will contain my emoji. So a div. So in this div, I want to place an emoji in this div. So to access div on our keyboard, just click on the Windows key and the full stop key. So the window and full stop key should give us the emoji. So let me pick a smiling emoji for this. Good. And you can see the smiling emoji is now on our web page. So that's the div. Now let me give this div an ID of my box. An ID of my box. So that's the. Let's design this emoji a little bit. Let's go to our side of CSS. So let's select the body. So the body, I want to give the body some margins so I can see the margins around the emoji. So that will be margin. I want the margin to be solid. I want it to be let's make it 15 px, and I want the color to be black. Okay. So another thing we want to add is the height. So I want the height to be 100 VH, which should be the full screen. Okay. So the next thing, let's select the ID of the box. That is my box. That's a big. Okay. So for the my box, let's make it. Let's give it a background color. Background color. Let's make it light blue. So the background color should be light blue. Very good. We have that. Let me know this is not displaying. It's not displaying correctly. So the background color should be light blue. The height should be 100 pixels. Let me change it to 200. Let me make it bigger. So the height should be what, 200 pixels. Let's make the width to be. Let's make the width 200 pixels also, so we can have something like a square. We have 200 pixels. Let's give it some border radius. Border radius of 10 pixels. Okay, yeah, that's good. So the next thing I want to do now, I want to move my emoji. These are emoji. I want to move it to the center of the box. So to do that, we have to change our display to flex. Display flex. Now to move it to the middle horizontally, that will be justify content. So justify content center. That's to move our emoji to the middle horizontally. To move it to the middle vertically, we are going to say align items. Align items. That's to be what? That will be center. Very good. So we now have it at the center. But my emoji is a little bit too small. I want to make the emoji bigger. Let me maximize my screen first so you can see it. It is very small compared to the other side of the screen. So to move it to the middle, I'm going to have font size. Font size should be equal to 6 REM. Very good. This is nice. Let me change that to 7. 7 REM. Very good. Better. So I have my big emoji now. My big smiling emoji. So this is our what? This is our emoji with a background color of light blue coloration. So this is a little bit good for the styling now. So let us to move now to the JavaScript. Let's start adding some functionality to our emoji. So the first thing I have to do is to declare. So I'm declaring my box now. That'll be const my box. I'm declaring it and assigning it at the same time. That'll be const my box is equal to document dot get element by ID, and the ID is what? My box. So that's the first thing we do. So after doing this, the next thing that I want to do right about now is that anytime we click on any keys on the keyboard, I want to change the color of this. I want to change the color of the background to, let's say, tomato color. And also, I want to change the contents of my box from this smiling emoji to laughing emoji. So now I want to write a function that changes the background color and the contents of the box anytime a key is being typed. So that will be, to do that, I'm going to have documents dot add event listener, documents dot add event listener. So anytime we click on any keys, so that will be key down. So anytime a key is pressed down, I want an event to take place. Now this event, let's give it an arrow function. So this is what we call arrow function. Let's give it an arrow function of. So what should happen anytime a key is being pressed down? First of all, I want to change the background color. So to change the background color, that will be my box dot style dot background color. My box dot style dot background color should be equal to. So let's pick tomato color. Tomato. So let's see if that works. Let's go to our web page now. Let's maximize. Now let's click on any keys. Very good. So you can see immediately I click on any key, the background color changes from light blue to what? To a tomato color. Let me refresh. Click on any other key. Very good. So the background color is what? The background color is changing. Nice. So another thing I want to do, I want to change the content of the what? Of the box. So now we have a smiling emoji, but whenever I click on any key, I want to change the contents of the box from a smiling emoji to a laughing emoji. So that will be my box dot style dot text contents. So the text content should be equal to. So get the emoji, that window key and full stop on Windows. Let's pick the smiling emoji. That's nice. So let's see how that is working out. So very good. So the background color is changing, but the emoji is not changing. Let's move this style. That is my box dot text content. So let's refresh that. So what do we have now? Very good. So notice now that anytime you click on any key, let me refresh. If you click on any key, the background color is changed from light blue to tomato color. Also, the emoji is changed from a smiling emoji to a laughing emoji. So using this DOM, we have been able to manipulate or change the background color and the contents of the what? Contents of the box. Very good, it's still working. So, but if you notice, after clicking on any keys, the background color changes, the text content changes. But what if after typing, I want to revert back to my original position? What if I want it to retain its original color and original text content? That is, after releasing the keys, I want it to go back to its former background color and text content. Then I have to add another function. And this function, I will tell you that, okay, whenever we are done typing, refer or revert back to your original position. So to do that, it's going to be document dot add event listener. So instead of key down, we are now going to have key up. So key down is when you click down on the key, and key up is whenever you release the key. So that will be key up event. Key up event. Very good. So in this event, we are going to have my box dot style dot background color, and that should be equal to light blue. So that will change the background color to light blue. What about the text contents? That will be my box dot text contents should be equal to smiling emoji. So this is a smiling emoji. Very good. So let's see how that works out now. Let me maximize my web page. So whenever I click, you see? So let me click down on enter. So whenever you click down on any keys, it's going to change back to tomato color and laughing emoji. But once I release the key, it will revert back to its original position. That is the light blue coloration and the smiling emoji. So if I click on any keys, change the coloration, change the contents, I release the key back to original position. So once I'm clicking, it's changing. I'm clicking, it's changing. I'm clicking, it's changing the coloration, it's changing the background coloration and the text content. This is nice. This is great. But we are not stopping here. Now, we want to add another function in which whenever we click on the arrow keys, the box that contains our emoji should move towards the direction at which you are pointing. What I mean is, whenever you click on the right arrow key, this emoji and this box should move towards the right. If you click on the left arrow key, it should move to the left. Up arrow key should move upward, while down arrow key should move downward. Let's do that. But before we can do that, we have to go back to our CSS file. Whenever you want there to be a change in direction, or whenever you want a change in position, you have to add display. No, you have to change the position. So for now, I'll be changing this position to relative. So changing the position to relative will enable the box and the emoji to respond whenever the arrow keys are being called. So the arrow keys will be able to manipulate the position of the emoji and the box now, because their position is now relative. So after doing this, let's go back to our JavaScript to add the functionality to it. So what we are doing right about now is document dot add event listener. Notice that it is whenever you click down on any of the arrow keys that you want there to be a change in this position. So we are going to have key down. Key down. So whenever there is key down, we want an event to take place. So let's give this event an arrow function. An arrow function. Very good. But now you want to explicitly tell this program that it is only the arrow keys that we want to cause this change in position. To do that, we are going to use our if statement. So that will be if event dot key dot starts with arrow. So what we just tell the program is that whenever a key is being clicked and the key begins with arrow, or the name of the key starts with arrow, perform this function. So what are those functions that it should perform? Let's see. So the first of all, we want to change the default of the keys to I want to disable the default of the keys, because normally the arrow keys are supposed to move upward and downward, but now I want to change that function. So that will be event dot prevent default. So our arrow keys will no longer be responsible for just scrolling up and down. It is now going to take on another function. So what is that function? Because we want to deal with 4 different arrow keys, which is the arrow up, arrow down, arrow left, and arrow right, we'll be using our switch case. So switch case is used when we have different functionalities that are a little bit similar. So we're going to use our switch. So we want to switch the events key. So we have 4 different cases. The first case is going to be case arrow up, semicolon. So whenever the arrow up key is clicked, what should happen? We want to change the displacement of the what? We want to change the displacement of the emoji. But before we can change the displacement of the emoji, we need to declare 3 variables. The first variable is going to be the move amount. To what degree do we want this box to move? So that will be const move amount should be equal to 100. So this means that anytime you click on the keys, we want the emoji to move at a rate of 100 pixels. The next one now, let's declare our x-axis and our y-axis. As we know, the y-axis represents the vertical position, while the x-axis represents the horizontal position. So if we want it to move upward or downward, this y-axis will be responsible, while if we want it to move rightward or leftward, the x-axis will be responsible. So that should be let y should be equal to 0 and let x to be equal to 0. That's good. So now let's go back to our switch case. So we said that whenever the up arrow key is called, the y should change displacement. That should be y equals to move amount. So after this, let's break. So now let's create another case for the arrow down key. That's for the arrow down. We should have y plus or equals to move amount. Then let's break. After this, move back again to case. That's to be arrow right. So for the arrow right, that will be x. Sorry, that should be negative. Let's break. Then for the arrow left, we're going to have another case. That will be case arrow left. That will be x. Move amount. Break. Okay, so now we have just created the four different cases. We have created the case for the arrow keys, so it should move upward. For the down key, it should move downward in the x-axis. For the right key, it should move to the right in the x-axis. And for the left arrow key, it should move to the left in the x-axis. So after doing this, the next thing that we want to do now is we want to attribute this x and y axis. Let's attribute it to the my box function. So how do we connect this x and y to the my box? That will be, we're going to have my box dot style dot stop is equal to, let's see some backticks now. So in the backticks, we are going to have this catenation. So that should be for the top, that should be y pixels. Y for the left and the right, we should have my box dot style dot right. Backticks. Curly braces for the x pixels. Very good. So we have given the arrow key some functions to work with. Whenever we click on the up arrow key, the down, the left, and the right, we have connected it to the box. And now let's see how that works out. So now whenever we click on the left arrow key, hold on. Okay, good. So now let me maximize my screen. Now whenever I click on the right arrow key, it moves towards the right. If you click on the left arrow key, it moves towards the left. If you click on the down arrow key, it moves downward. If you click on the upper hand arrow key, it moves upward. Now, another thing I want you to notice is that it is not just moving left and right, but as you are clicking it, there is a change in coloration, there is a change in text content. That is why the smiling emoji is changing to laughing emoji. Now, let me hold down some keys. Let me hold down the left arrow key, it moves towards the left, right arrow key towards the right, upper hand arrow key. So what can you do with this? You can use this to create some functions or some buttons that you want to change their coloration, that you want to change their text content whenever they are being clicked. You can also use it to create some designs that you want to move to some certain positions based on what you want. So you feel free to play with this, feel free to tweak this. You can also change the coloration to any style that you so desire. So today we created a moving emoji that changes in coloration whenever any keys are being clicked. It also changes its position whenever the arrow keys are being typed. So clicking on the upper hand arrow key moves it to the upward. Clicking on down arrow key moves it downward. Clicking on the left arrow key moves it leftward. Clicking on the right arrow key moves it to the right position. So that is what we have today. So using our HTML, sorry. So using our HTML, our CSS, and our JavaScript, we are able to create a moving emoji that not only just changes in coloration of the background and text contents, but also moves to the right whenever we click on the right arrow key. It moves to the left whenever you click on the left arrow key. It moves downward whenever you click downwards, and it moves upward whenever you click upwards. So you can change the position of this moving emoji using the what? Using the arrow keys. Thank you so much for joining us on today's session. We look forward to having you in our subsequent sessions. Thank you.